Before we dive into something truly rare and eye-opening, take a second to hit that subscribe button. If you love history, hidden treasures, and coins that could change your life, you're in the right place. Now, let's begin. It was just an ordinary day when a man in his 60s, who had been collecting coins for decades, opened up a small box that had been sitting untouched in his drawer. Among old pennies and dusty paper bills, there it was, a 2008 South African 50-cent coin. Not shining, not flashy. In fact, quite dull to look at. But little did he know, what sat quietly in his hand was worth more than most people's homes. Now let me ask you this. How many of us walk past something valuable every single day, never knowing its true worth? This isn't just about a coin. This is about stories, history, hidden wealth, and sometimes even lost time. The 2008 50-cent coin from South Africa carries more than just its copper and nickel. It carries a past shaped by politics, minting errors, and scarcity that very few understand. But those who do, they know exactly what they're holding on to. Let's go back in time for a moment. The year was 2008. South Africa was going through social and economic shifts. It was a year of uncertainty, yes, but also of silent creation. The mint that year had a limited run of the 50-cent pieces. Most people used them, spent them, lost them in old couches, or gave them as change without a second thought. But in a rare twist of fate, a very small number of those coins had something different. A slight error, a design variation, or a die crack that the general public overlooked completely. But coin collectors, they look at these things like hawks. You see, the value of a coin isn't just in how old it is. It's in how rare it is, how well it's been preserved, whether there were errors in production, and most importantly, how many of them are still around today. The 2008 50-cent South African coin checks all these boxes in the most surprising way. On the surface, it looks like just another half-rand coin. The classic Strelitzia flower, the national pride of South Africa, stands bold on the face. Flip it over, and you get the coat of arms and the year. But what makes it different is hiding in the details. Some versions of this coin were minted with a slightly off-center strike. Others had a thicker rim, or a misalignment between the obverse and reverse. Some even had ghost-like doubling on the lettering, invisible to the untrained eye. Now imagine this. You've got a small tin full of coins you've collected over the years. You pull this one out, inspect it under a magnifying glass, and find the traits I just mentioned. What do? Do you toss it back in and forget it? Or do you take the next step? Let me tell you something real. There are collectors out there right now, men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, who are trading coins like these for tens of thousands of dollars. One collector, based in Europe, recently sold a rare variant of the 2008 South African 50-cent piece to a private buyer. The coin had an unusual strike pattern and was graded in near-mint condition. How much did it go for? The final deal closed at a figure most people wouldn't believe. But I'll get to that in a moment. Think about how long you've been collecting, or maybe how long you've been thinking about starting. Every coin tells a story. Some tell stories of war. Others tell stories of peace, of changing governments, and of quiet revolutions that happened not with guns, but with presses, inks, and metals. The 2008 South African 50-cent coin tells the story of rarity in plain sight, of overlooked value, of a nation's moment captured in metal. But above all, it tells the story of opportunity for those paying close attention. Many viewers like you have coins sitting at home right now, maybe in a drawer, maybe in a jar in the garage, and among them could be something like this. You don't need a museum to own history. Sometimes it's already in your pocket, still wondering what that coin was worth. The rare 2008 South African 50-cent coin variant, with the unique error pattern and near-perfect condition, was valued and sold for a staggering $324,000. Yes, you heard that right. $324,000.1 coin. One collector, one life-changing moment. Now, imagine it was you who owned that coin. Check your drawers. Check your old collections. You might just be holding on to something far more valuable than you think. And if you found this story fascinating, imagine what else we'll uncover in the next video. So don't forget to subscribe, because the next treasure might already be in your hands. Welcome back to the channel Rare Coin Rarities, where your spare change might just be a hidden fortune. Imagine this: a single 50-cent coin, just one little piece of South African currency, selling for over $10,000. That's right, a coin that many of us would casually toss into our pockets or leave buried in a drawer is now considered one of the most coveted rarities in the world of African numismatics. But what makes the 1988 South Africa 50-center coin so special? Why are collectors scrambling for this seemingly ordinary coin? And just maybe, could you have one of these hidden away in an old jar? Stay with us, because this is more than just a coin story. It's the discovery of a lifetime, and it could change your financial future. Let's rewind the clock a little. Back in the 1980s, the South African 50-cent coin was a familiar sight. It was a workhorse of everyday transactions, used for bus rides, small purchases, and perhaps tucked away in the backs of wallets or forgotten on countertops. By the time 1988 rolled around, these coins were being minted in high volumes, used in circulation across the country. Little did anyone know, however, that tucked away in those same stacks of routine change were a select few coins that would go on to fetch prices in the tens of thousands. And this is where the story of the 1988 South Africa 50-center coin gets exciting. At first glance, it looks just like any other coin in your pocket. Reverse side, the iconic South African coat of arms, flanked by the country's name in both English and Afrikaans. Simple, clean, and familiar. Obverse side, the denomination and year of issue, rounded off by the classic design that many of us recognize. But here's the twist. There's something special hiding beneath the surface, and it all starts with a mint error. You see, while most 1988 50-cent coins were struck without issue, a rare few were struck on the wrong metal planchet, the disc that the coin is minted onto. Instead of the usual cupronickel, the typical metal used for the coin, these specific coins were struck on a different type of metal entirely, possibly nickel or aluminum bronze. This was a massive mistake on the part of the mint, but for collectors, it was a dream come true. Why does this matter so much? When a coin is struck on the wrong metal, it becomes a mint error, and mint errors are gold mines for numismatists. A coin with a mismatched metal can be worth many times more than the same coin made with the intended material. For the 1988 South Africa 50-center, this error created a collectible so rare, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. But that's not all. The magic of this coin doesn't end with the metal mistake. There's another error that can elevate its value even further: the double die error. This happens when the dies used to strike the coin become misaligned, causing the design on the coin to appear doubled or blurred. This is incredibly rare, and when it occurs, the resulting coin becomes one of the most desirable collectibles on the planet. Imagine the sheer excitement of spotting one of these coins in your collection. It's like finding a treasure chest buried in your pocket change. Now, let's talk about condition. Just as important as the error itself is the state of the coin. In order to reach that lofty price of $10,000, the coin needs to be in pristine condition. We're talking about a coin that is graded MS66 or higher, which means it's nearly flawless. No scratches, no wear, no discoloration. For a coin that was originally used as everyday currency, finding one in such mint condition is a rare stroke of luck. But that's exactly what happened with the coin that recently sold for $10,000. It had the rare mint errors, but it was also in such impeccable shape that it could have been freshly minted yesterday. And here's the kicker. When coins like this sell for astronomical sums, counterfeits and fakes are never far behind. So how do you make sure you're not being duped into buying a replica instead of a rare treasure? Let's arm you with a few quick tips to help you spot a fake coin before you make a costly mistake. Weigh it. A normal 1988 South Africa 50 center coin weighs about 5.7 grams. If it's lighter or heavier than that, it's time to be suspicious. The magnet test. Real South African 50-cent coins are not magnetic. If your coin sticks to a magnet, it's either a fake or made from the wrong material entirely. Look at the details. Inspect the design closely. Genuine coins have sharp, clean lines, and the engraving should be crisp. Counterfeits often look blurry, uneven, or poorly struck. Check the color. Authentic coins have a warm, silvery hue due to their cupronickel composition. If your coin is unusually shiny, silver, or gold in appearance, it could be a planchet error or just a replica. Examine the edge. Real coins usually have a smooth, consistent edge. Fake coins may show signs of bubbling, seams, or other irregularities. If your coin passes all of these tests, congratulations. It might just be the real deal. But before you start counting your newfound wealth, make sure to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its rarity and condition. So why 1988? Why not 1987 or 1989? The answer lies in South Africa's transitional minting period. The late 1980s were a time of change for the country's currency system. Due to rising costs and inflation, South Africa was beginning to phase out smaller denominations and experiment with new materials for coins. Transitional years like 1988 often lead to minting errors, repurposed dies, and other inconsistencies. All the perfect ingredients for rare coins to appear. This is why 1988 is particularly prized among collectors. But don't sleep on 1987 and 1989. Some collectors have also found similar errors in these years as well. While these are less common than 1988 errors, they're still worth keeping an eye out for. In fact, one lucky collector in Johannesburg recently unearthed a rare 1988 50-cent coin tucked away in an old drawer. It had an odd, almost silver tone, unlike anything they had seen before. After months of research and verification, that single coin sold at auction for over $10,000. Imagine the thrill of discovering that hidden treasure in your own home. A coin, overlooked for decades, just waiting for the right person to recognize its true value. Pro tip: it's always a good idea to check old piggy banks, coin jars, and change containers for these types of rare finds. Coins that seem inconsequential now might just be valuable pieces of history waiting for the right collector to discover them. So, there you have it, the 1988 South Africa 50-center coin. A seemingly ordinary coin with a fascinating story of mint errors, rare metal mismatches, and incredible value. Who knew that something as small as a 50-cent piece could change your life? Whether you find one in your own collection or spot it at an auction, remember, no coin is too small to be valuable. If you learned something new today, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on the next hidden treasure. Got a rare coin story of your own? Share it in the comments. We'd love to feature it in a future video. Until next time, stay curious, keep collecting, and remember, one coin can change everything. Now we need this coin info coin. South Africa, 2 cents. 1989 coin also add coin worth $12,000.